Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dice to Roll, the Queerest Pathfinder Podcast on a planet where it's the hard questions like, would orange juice kill a troll?
Why would it?
Why would it do that?
So, trolls. Famously, they have a weakness to fire and to acid. Orange juice is a pretty potent acid. Like, I think citric acid is, like, pretty fucking high.
What's in their fucking stomach?
That's, okay, you know what? That's another good question.
Because, okay, as a human being, I think I'm pretty weak to acid, too.
Mm-hmm.
But citric acid is not enough to hurt me. Even, like, pineapple is not enough to hurt me. Like, even if it may, like, tingle on, like, the tongue, that kind of acid will not fucking hurt someone. Maybe if they drink, like, orange juice, it'll tingle like it does with, like, pineapple and shit. But I genuinely don't fucking think that it's strong enough to hurt.
Also, Derek, how strong do you think?
Because if you splash me with, like, regular acid, yeah, I'm gonna get fucking hurt.
You know, I did forget that humans are also weak to acid.
Yes!
Who isn't weak to acid?
I was sitting here
There
like,
he is.
in this fancy world, only trolls are weak to acid. But in fact, if you threw acid on a person in real life, chances are they wouldn't be very pleased about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only thing is that, like, I'm pretty sure that trolls are weak to acid in that it negates their regeneration.
Yeah. But I think that's like, I think the way it's meant to be is that it literally stops their cells from coming back because it's like eating at the cells as they're regenerating.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
But, Ritz, you did raise a good question. What is in troll stomachs?
Yeah,
Probably acid.
but, like, the good kind, smiley face.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
the
believe
good
that they
kind,
don't have
smiley face.
acid in their stomachs.
What do you
What's
think
in there?
is in there, Derek?
What's in there?
I
A little
think-
gnome? A little gnome cutting up their food?
Hold on.
No.
I think it's rocks.
Like the way that cows have?
Yeah, like they chew up some, they swallow some rocks, and it crunches up their food extra good into a paste. I think
Fair
cows
enough.
also have acid in their stomach, so I might be fucking myself over.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, they
pretty
do
sure they
also have
literally
acid.
do.
Maybe it's shitty
Most
acid.
living things.
Shitty acid!
Yeah.
Stomach acid is pretty potent.
It's
Yeah.
pretty strong. That
Derek,
shit's
I
scary.
need your homework is to look at the fucking pH list.
I cry a little bit.
Oh god, it's just like when he was in school.
Study the fucking pH chart. You need
Okay.
to know what acids and you need to know the potency of acids and bases.
Would we like to play some Pathfinder?
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
Previously in Fists of the Ruby Phoenix, our heroes journeyed across the skies in a solar Jan 2. They found their ultimate destination, the island in the sky, a floating island high above the flying mountains. However, try as you might, you couldn't get closer. It seems that there was some strange extra-dimensional force preventing you from going into the island. However, the Plover Charm, the magical tool guiding you towards Haojin, sent off a beam into the mountains. And upon following it, you found the scattered remains of a shrine to none other than the Celestial Dragon, who has the power to grant wishes to those who can summon him. And you believe you may have a checklist of items you need to perform a ritual to get him back. You guys set off in search of one of the components of the ritual, the Dance of Raisho, a special dance which is performed at the Raisho Monastery, a monastery which you have been told is in these mountains and may be able to help you.
Mhm.
So, we're ready to hop into character and see if the tales of the Raisho Monastery are true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, let me set the scene. You guys are all atop the Solar Jan 2. And you are flying above these mountains, and there is, like, a lot of stuff down there. Like, as you're flying by, you're seeing some landmarks. There's a coastline here, largely of sheer cliffs that plunge directly into the choppy waters of the Emerald Ocean. And there's a sizable black sand bay tapering to a road leading up into the mountains. you can see like churning waters around an unnamed island. And actually, as you're passing over it, Sanku, you spot that elfin longboat off in the distance. The boat of Winter's Roar, slowly heading towards it.
It's
But
them.
I think the thing that catches all of your attention is maybe the strangest of the landmarks. Off far and deeper in the mountains, where clouds kind of hide everything, a ring of rock protrudes through the clouds, a clear caldera of some kind. The center of the caldera can't be seen below the clouds, but every so often, as you're flying past it, a cry sounding like a cross between a whale and an elephant echoes through the caldera, and flashes of lightning illuminate strange and massive shadows. And I think you're like passing by as you're like looking down at these weird titanic shadows in the clouds. Like below you, hidden under the cloud cover, there seems to be something happening. But it's not really your story. Like, it's not really like what you're looking for right now, you know?
Yeah.
How are you guys all doing as you're looking over the edge, waiting for Yo to maybe tell you that he's located at the monastery that you're looking for?
I don't think Sanku's like particularly in a bad mood or anything. I think right now he's just kind of looking. He's trying to be focused.
I think that they definitely are looking at the landmarks. Not like, I don't know, I don't think that Chuji's like a big like nature person, so I don't think they're not like geeking out about it, but they think it's cool.
I mean, it's kind of awe-inspiring how fucking massive everything here is, you know?
Yeah, Chuji's like you know how like dogs will like stand on one side of like a fucking glass door to like look at shit and their ears are pointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're seeing these giant monsters from afar and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And Masami, how are you doing right now?
They seem a bit more on the serious side. Because they want to figure out, like, the entirety of what's going on. They're happy that they get to see Arms of Balance soon, though, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I think they're just looking out into the different areas and their surroundings, like, and that's a potential place we can go to, that's a potential place we can search. They're full on, like, the mission.
I mean, I can't really blame them, right? But I think that maybe is why the one you're most, like, curious about is the cliff sides, like the bay. And like I will say, the black sand is startling. Like, it is nighttime black, you know?
Okay, yeah.
It almost looks like it's obsidian dust rather than sand.
Ooh, okay.
It glints in the light as you're flying over it. And like I said, Sanku, you're like seeing this elfin ship going towards an island in the middle of all of this.
Yeah, I think Sanku notices their Winter's Roar, and I think that he's watching them right now.
They're a far way off, but you can see on the island there's like a giant rock that is shaped like the skull of a huge serpent. You know?
Kind of sick.
And there's like fog coming off of it, so you can't really see what's happening. I think also leaning over the side is Clover. The half-orc beastkin is looking over the sides going, ugh, it's nice to see somewhere cold again. It's been very tropical weathers most of the time, but, you know, I'm from a cold climate. I'm Iliseni myself, so it's nice to be cool, but even this place, it is nothing like home. You see all of this land here, the beach and the clouds with the giant monsters and the Skull Island. What do you all make of this?
Kind of sick. Kind of
Well,
fucked up.
I mean, to be entirely fair, I don't think that typically your average person, or like typically your average place in Tianxia is very Skull Island-y. So it's pretty cool. It's different for us too.
I was thinking after Danger Island, perhaps everywhere in Tiansha just happened to have this much adventure lying around to be discovered, huh?
No, I live in I'm from a small fishing village. They just fish.
Yeah, it's similar to back home. We fish too, but it's ice fishing.
Ice fishing?
Yes,
What's that?
you know, we are from community, lots of beastkin, lots of bear folk. We open up holes in the water and we catch fish, yes?
I've never heard of that.
Well, it's a different world, I suppose. It's normal to me.
Why don't you just call it fishing then? You're not
No,
catching
but-
ice.
It's
No, but
fishing
they're
in
u-
the ice.
Yeah.
But it's just been fishing.
I don't
No, I
tell you
think-
how to live your life.
I think it's definitely different.
Yeah. Everything's different. The pirate life back home the shackles is different to what I'm used to. And now this is different to the shackles. It seems I'll never catch a break and have somewhere to rely, you know?
There's a pirate place called the Shackles.
Yes, it's we sail in big ships and we shoot cannons and there's the Hurricane Queen. She's the queen of all the pirates, loosely. And
There's a queen of pirates?
there's volcanoes and skeletons.
I mean,
This is normal stuff
Huh.
to me. It's not that interesting.
It's pretty fucking interesting.
You should ask Bako and Fervo. They have more to say about this kind of thing. I only came in as a skald for them relatively recently, you know? And then they dragged me off here to Tiansha to find the missing sea dragon.
Right.
well, I really haven't seen that much of the world.
I think as you're saying that, Sanku, you hear a, well, we're about to see more! Look over there, starboard!
Oh!
And you're gonna have to
Sanku
fucking
looks over.
jog the fucking, 3-minute walk from one side of Solar Jan to the other, because it's fucking massive.
Chuji
Thank-
races everyone there.
Sanku just flies there.
Masami, how'd you get to starboard?
Ninja hop.
As you all dash off, Clover's like, they walk very slowly. As Yo kind of calls out for you all to look, and you see off in the distance, there indeed, nestled among the mountains, appears to be a monastery. There seems to be a lot of prayer flags and stuff, and it seems like it's giving you the immediate image of what you would expect a mountain, a monastery in the mountains to be, you know?
Yeah.
Yo calls out and says, so, is that it? Raisho Monastery? You think it's what you're looking for?
I
That's
think
it.
so.
That's the one.
Okay, then that, from here, it should probably take us 10 minutes.
Okay.
And he kind of spins the wheel and it starts turning and twisting, flying directly downwards. And he says, if you've got anything you need to get, now's the time, everyone.
Okay. Well, the dance will be here, but do you think that there's anything else that...
I mean, I'm at least hoping that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm worried about is the boundary tree.
Uh-huh. Well,
Maybe we'll find more answers here. They kind of just fucking shrug because they really don't know.
well, I feel like we've been called here, so I don't think that they'd lead us on, whatever has us here would lead us on, a goose chase for nothing. I'm just not sure what we'll do about it yet.
And poking out of your bag, you hear Lolo being like, Sanku is right, everyone. Fate has handed you all a set of cards, and it is now your time to play them. Will you cower from the ultimate destiny that has been presented to you? Or will you accept it with grace, he says, and you're starting to realize maybe he's talking to himself.
I don't know, will you?
And slinking back a little bit, Lolo looks embarrassed. Says, well, I don't know, will you?
I asked you first.
I don't see what my this is you tree's journey, not mine.
You're with us, aren't you?
Hey, you're with us.
I thought you're our fourth member, Lolo.
Yeah.
I am a guide to Sanku, Witch Prince of the Sea first. He slinks further back into the bag.
Mm-hmm.
One way or another, we'll get everything we're looking for, and we'll show that celestial dragon who's boss. Even if he is much bigger than me, we're still the ones who's going to be telling him what to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He slinks back into the bag again. He's gone.
Well, anyways, hopefully though we'll find more information, because I mean, I'm assuming we'll find what we need, but usually in these sort of places we'll find other stuff too.
Yeah.
And if anything, if we run into the other teams, they might have some clues, or they'll be able to help out some.
I saw Winter's Roar.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're on
shit.
a ship.
Near us?
Well, not super close. Yeah, I could see their ship. They were heading towards, I think it was an island in the middle, or like a place in the middle of where we were.
I wonder
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Probably looking.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Maybe they're onto something too.
I'm really hoping that if there's something that we don't know, that any of the other teams might be able to help with information that they have, like if we get stuck.
Mhm.
And so the Solar Jan lands. It lands maybe like half a mile outside of the monastery. So it's a quick journey on foot down a cobblestone path into this plaza. Green and gold buildings surround the central plaza of this monastery, which is filled with monks walking to and fro, while others practice poses in a straw-floored training hall. Prayer flags flutter in the cold alpine wind, and snow rests on the orange petals of a sal tree in curious bloom despite the alpine environment. A massive statue of a heavy man sits cross-legged and smiling in contemplation within a sheltered worship hall, gazing out over the mountainous vista. Welcome all to the Raisho Monastery.
I see.
How are you guys doing as you get out and are approaching?
I think Sanku is like, somehow I forgot that there would be a high chance that this would be a monastery that isn't ruins. I got so
Oh.
used to Danger Island and just the tournament stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be honest. Yeah,
Maybe they'll know stuff though.
here's hoping.
It's better to have a monastery full of living, breathing people than a monastery full of ghouls and skeletons.
I can definitely
Hey, there
agree
was
with that.
There was one living person.
Oh,
One,
that guy.
he wasn't part of the monastery.
He fixed it
but
though.
He was there.
And I have to wonder, who is that statue of? I don't recognize that deity from anywhere.
Maybe we can ask.
Kind of squints. It's a very you know, like this the laughing Buddha.
Mhm.
It's very
Yeah.
similar.
Mm.
The only difference being that he has a big top knot, and there seems to be kind of leaf symbolism around him.
Okay.
Mhm.
But otherwise, you don't really know it. You know.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys want to enter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you enter, and as soon as you are getting ready to cross the barrier, someone steps in the way, and he's like, excuse me.
Ah,
Oh, hello.
hi.
Hello, what are you all doing here? And standing in front of you is a man.
Oh no.
Oh no is right.
No,
I'm. Oh my god. I want to
So-
shove him in a locker.
Last session, I introduced a very sexy man. Today, I give you something else. A very pathetic man.
You gave us a mail fail.
Yes!
You had a fucking perfect papa, and now you have your male fail.
I love this male Phil.
A man standing in front of you. He's wearing a white robes with a red coat over it.
Oh.
He is shaved perfectly bald. And what's really interesting is that his nervous face, which, he's kind of like biting his lower lip as he looks at you all with his brow furrowed, is that he is bright blue with white eyes. No pupils, no sclera. He is just completely like sky blue in skin tone with white eyes.
What is he?
Okay.
Is
Well,
he a-
you actually know immediately because you've dealt with another of his kindred recently.
Oh my god, is he the same?
Just like Diki Sonam, the mad monk of the Lightkeepers, this fellow who stands before you is a Samsaran.
Oh
Oh.
my god.
Yo.
One of a people who are reincarnated with every life and remember their past lives.
Oh, that is sick as hell. I really like these guys.
They only live here in the Wall of Heaven. They're very rare. They don't show up anywhere else in the world. They are, because of the fact that they remember all their lives, many of them do go into very calm, meditative lives. Like, most of them become monks, not because of any reason other than being a monk and meditating on past lives is the easiest thing for them to do with the amount of knowledge that they have of just existence as a whole, Like, they have maybe too much knowledge, and it's kind of hard to live with that sometimes. So becoming monks is the easiest way to learn to cope with the stress of hundreds of past lives,
Yeah, that's fair.
And he steps out and says, excuse me, hello, you... What are you doing here?
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. We are.
Oh god, regular. Regular talking.
Senku's like, we are the Radiant Winds. We were participants in the Ruby Phoenix tournament, and the Ruby Phoenix went missing, and we're currently trying to figure a way to get her back. And that led us here.
Again?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was.
Didn't you just get here? Wait, no.
No.
Didn't you?
No, you're thinking about Arms of Balance, the 4 monks.
Oh! Yes, sorry, I... face blind.
It's okay.
It's two groups of people coming here for the exact same reason.
Oh.
You must understand, we've been a little bit... we don't generally get people visiting. We're a little bit secluded, as it were. We're high up in the mountains, and...
Yeah,
Is it a
we
problem?
got that.
No, it's not a problem, it's just... I was having deja vu, it's,
No, that's understandable.
quite a common problem.
Uh-huh.
Well, to start, how about I introduce myself? My name is Seyan, and I am a new monk here.
It's
and
nice to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you as well. What are your names? You said Radiant Winds?
Yeah.
Who? What? Well, I assume you have individual names, yes, right?
Oh, yes,
do you?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. Hi,
Okay.
I'm Senku, Witch Prince of the Sea.
Oh, okay. You're far away from the sea.
A little bit.
Well, that's not fair. You're near the ocean, but the ocean isn't... And he kind of stares off into the middle distance, like, completely dissociating for a second.
I think Masami snaps their fingers.
Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yes, Sanku, Witch Prince of the Sea. Yes, you're quite close to the sea, aren't you? Anyway, you? He looks at you, Chuji.
Chuji. And they kind of just like wave.
He waves back.
Cool.
And you? He looks at you, Masami.
Masami Takahara.
Oh, it's lovely to meet you all. Are you looking to... Is there something we can help you with? Because
Well,
the Arms of Balance, they came in and they said that they were looking for information, but let me hear you out first. What can I do for you all?
we're also looking for information.
Mhm.
Sig is like, how do I say this without sounding insane?
We are trying to summon the celestial dragon,
He just
And-
kind of stares into the distance.
and I believe there might be a dance here that
Oh, the Raisho dance, yes. And?
We're
I
wondering
believe-
if you know it.
yeah, we
Oh,
need it
well-
for the ritual, if that's possible.
You might need. I hate doing this.
What?
I'm new here.
It's okay.
Masami folds their arms in front of them and just looks and squints and goes, we got that you're new here, so could you point us to someone who would probably know?
That's the thing. I know. So the abbot can tell you everything you need to know about the Raisho dance, but there is the slight problem that I've already explained to the Arms of Balance.
What?
But perhaps it's better you see for yourself. Come, don't you want to meet your friends again? The wonderful Arms of Balance.
I guess,
Isn't
but
that
I'd
what you-
really like some answers.
Okay.
Then you'll get your answers. It's hard to put into words.
Abbott's missing, Abbott's been kidnapped.
Is he
Dead?
dead?
Oh, no. She,
Sick?
first off.
Oh, is she dead?
No.
Why don't we just go and see?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm talking in circles because I've had this exact conversation.
You can have it again, can't you?
It's okay.
And I
Trudy.
will get everything that's already happened will happen again, and everything that's going to happen one day has already happened.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Start walking.
Just fucking show us the abbot.
He says, no need to be so rude, my word. Anyway, and he kind of like brings you guys inside, and you see that beautiful sal tree, which is in full bloom despite it being the middle of winter. Like, this is not a place where a sal tree should be blooming.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you notice that it isn't swaying at all. Like, the wind is blowing, but the tree is not moving. It's like a static image. And you actually see none other than the Arms of Balance, all in the middle of a training regimen under the tree. And standing in front of them is a fucking Yeti.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Like a giant, tall, white-furred ape man who is wearing the exact same robes as our good friend Lian.
Okay.
As the Arms of Balance are training, I think Raunak opens one eye and he sees you guys and he like waves, and then like that Yeti kind of like claps his hand and says, like kind of dragging him back to attention. And Raunak flinches a little bit before they all get back into their like slow but sure training, you know? And the Yeti turns and sees you guys enter, and he kind of like grunts before getting back to work. And you guys get like passed by that statue of the fat man. And a little way away, sitting in a very small gazebo, is a human woman who is meditating very, very hard. She is maybe in her 80s. She is wearing, again, the same robes as everyone else you've seen here. Like, there are a lot of people here in the monastery. They all wear the same robes, and they're all bald. It's a lot of humans and a lot of samsarans, mostly. But this human woman, she kind of sits there, and her eyes are wide open, but they are not looking at anything. She just stares at nothing.
Chuji kind of leans over to Sayam and is like, "Is that the abbot?"
Oh, yes, that's the abbot. Abbot Sujan, yes. She is in an extremely deep meditation state.
How long has she been meditating?
Ooh, at this point, 4 months, I believe.
The fuck?
4
Okay,
months?
this might take a while.
Well, yes. So, okay. Here's the thing. She is contemplating the spontaneity and beauty of time. How, yes, things that happened again will happen before, but it's always new and different each time, and it's amazing. And, we're not allowed to wake her up.
Okay, well, if you're not allowed to, I can do it.
I don't think you will.
That might not be a good idea. Also, if she's been undisturbed this entire time, then I don't think any amount of anyone trying to wake her up is going to work.
Well, how many
Plus-
people have tried to wake her up?
Plus, here's the thing. If we just wake her up without, like, permission or something, if we upset her, I don't think that we're going to get help anyways.
So, you can... There's only one person here who can wake her up.
Okay.
And that is our friend. And he kind of points off into the courtyard again, where the arms balance are training, and he points it at Yeti. Jidung here is the acting abbot when Sujan is deep in her slumber.
Okay.
Jidung is allowed to awaken her.
Let's get Jidung to wake her.
There's a caveat here.
Fuck's sake.
You are very bright, Master Takahara. You are very bright indeed, yes. He's not going to. Not for any random passerby. 4 months is an impressively long time, and who knows what insights that Abbot Sujan will have when she awakens.
Well, we're not just any random passerby. We won the Ruby Phoenix tournament. We're looking for the Ruby
means
Phoenix.
absolutely nothing to us.
Chuji blinks.
Chuji,
I don't know what the Ruby Phoenix tournament is.
Oh, wow. It's
Chuji
just a
blinks
big...
again.
You've been
It's just
talking
a-
about this Ruby Phoenix. I've never heard of a Ruby Phoenix.
She's a really powerful sorceress. And she's technically immortal. She's pretty
She-
important where we live. And she went missing. Because... Do you know who King Magaru is?
Not really.
Do you know what the concept of a kaiju is?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The king of those.
I didn't know they had a monocular system.
I don't think it was literally a king. I think it was more like the biggest and strongest
Biggest.
and scariest type of thing,
Yeah.
and then they call him the king.
Okay, that makes sense.
Regardless, we need to wake her up. So,
Well-
I'm assuming that they're training to prove their worth.
He will only awaken Abbot Sujan on account of someone here in the monastery. And failing that, someone who has proven that their interest in this monastery is, well, one that is in line with our own beliefs. You have to prove yourself worthy of to wake someone up from a meditative trance where they are currently experiencing the distant past, reincarnate, looking through the many, many past and the many, many futures. To pull her out for something that isn't important, that isn't in line with our goals. It's the equivalent of calling someone back from a journey across the world because you'd like to know if they'd prefer to have green tea or chai tea, you know? So, if you can do that right, then I'm sure Jidung will be willing to help break her out of a trance.
Fine.
And there's no other way that we can get any of this information. It is only straight through the abbot.
Essentially, if she's the only one who has been granted the many secrets of, well, everything.
Then, go on. What are your guys' beliefs?
Well, we're all followers of Aurori, and he points at the giant statue of the fat man, who is definitely not Aurori.
Aurori?
Yes. You guys were in a temple of Aurori before, and you know that he's the god of physical perfection, of honed mind, of very strict order and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't really discipline is not what jumps out at you at this guy who's smiling and just chilling as he's like looking at a leaf in his hand. That's not discipline to you, you know?
Yeah.
That don't feel like Aurori.
What, isn't Aurori the god of discipline and self-perfection?
Oh! Some people believe that, but that's not true.
Sami
This is-
raises an eyebrow.
This is the purveyor of perception. Some see Aurori as the seeker of perfection, yes, but we know that this is a misreading of his views on perfection. The only path to true perfection is self-acceptance. As a leaf in the wind's path travels eloquently and without air, so too do we, followers of Aurori, who see experience as the ultimate sculptor of magnificence. Some in the mainland might strive for hours on end to master a lesson or art, but we believe that lessons of life are dealt by the hands of fate and claimed by one's own hands. We do not try to control the universe's plans for us. We embrace them and let them take us wherever we need.
Huh.
So this is just for context, a chaotic neutral denomination of Aurori.
Wow.
I see.
And he shakes his head and says, "That's not really the point. Sorry, we do love Aurori here.
No worries.
If you go to Jedung, he'll assign you some tasks, and if you can complete them all without air, perhaps he'll be willing to grant you a meeting with our abbot."
Okay. I'm not really seeing any other options, so...
Well, do you want to give it a shot? See what happens?
I don't mind.
Fate has brought you here. Let us see where else it will take you. And he kind of steps back and gestures for you guys.
Sanku looks at the others and he's like, thoughts?
Masami just walks towards the Yeti.
Chuji shrugs and does the same.
Very focused friends you have, my other blue friend.
I think they're really stressed out.
They shouldn't be. No matter what happens, things will, cosmically, be alright one way or another. They already have been, and one day they already will be.
I think they've just been stressed out because we have a very important mission, and if we fail, there's kind of a lot riding on that right now.
I'll be sure to pass it on to the abbot.
Thank you. I'm gonna go make sure they're all okay.
Yeah. You skip off?
And he goes to check on them.
As you guys follow after up to Jedung, you can see the arms of balance. They're like taking a seat now on the in the snowy courtyard, catching their breath, and they seem wrecked. You know, they seem out of it.
Hi!
Bumat gives you a weak thumbs up. Jedung, the Yeti monk, he towers over you guys. He's like 8 feet tall, and he turns and looks over his shoulder and says, And who else has come here before the Raishal Monastery today?
Hi. I'm Senku, Witch Prince of the Sea.
Chuji.
Masami.
And what is it that you have come here for?
Knowledge on the Raisho dance.
Kind of glances at the others. Then you have come here with more information than these.
Oh,
Who sent you to me?
Seiyan?
He kind of raises like a big white tufted eyebrow at that and says, he would, wouldn't he?
You said that, you were the only person that might be able to wake the abbot?
In a manner of speaking, yes. If you wish to gain the abbot's attention, you need to show your devotion and humility by participating in some of the temple activities. Alongside these lot, he points at the arms of balance. You can tell, by the way, that they are so out of their depth. It's like actually crazy.
Okay.
If all of you are able to prove that you can live like us, then yes, we will bring the abbot out and discuss with you.
Thank you.
Speak with them. They already have their tasks. So long as all of them are finished, you can come to me then, and we'll consider allowing you to speak to her,
Okay.
if you can pass some of our final trials.
All right.
I'm sure we will.
And with that, he nods, and he kind of, like, bows briefly at the Arms of Balance before, like, walking away. And Bhavana stands up, and she is so fucking tired, you guys. She stands up and says, Radiant Winds. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, you good?
Give me a moment.
Do you need healing? Are you okay?
No. And I think Ravnak says, we need rest, man.
Oh! Well, I mean, do you need to do everything immediately? Because I could cast Soothing Springs. It just takes like an hour, and then you'll probably feel rested.
Sunita kind of stands up, and she is wiping her brow a bit and says, they have a hot spring already. That's not the point. The point is, it's an impossible amount of tasks to do in one day. We've been here for a few days now, and they tried to tell us that we must finish all the tasks by the end of the day and do our training regiments. And let me tell you, the training regiment, what you saw there was not a training regiment. That was a warm-up for the training regiment. We're going to have our actual training regiment later. Buma shakes his head and says, it's not easy. This is nothing like what we have back home. This is too much for us, and I don't know what to do.
Hey,
I don't understand it. This chaotic meditation is not what we're used to.
well, what do you have to do?
Bhavana exhales and says, we need to chop firewood. We need to strike the bells. We need to aid in meditation. Catch some yaks. There's the scriptures. There's those 4 are the worst ones. We've been trying to complete them all by the end of the day for several days now.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't have it finished by the end of the day, we start over again the next day. And they tell us that everything's already happened before, and it's frustrating. I'm frustrated. I don't usually get frustrated.
Hey, it's
But
okay.
it feels like we're in a time loop here, you know?
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Time doesn't feel like it's working right up here.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Well, they do talk a lot about, at least as far as I've seen, time having happened and will happen and will always happen. I don't really get it, but, there's...
We also have no idea who King Magaru or the Ruby Phoenix are, but that could just be up to the fact that they've been secluded for the longest time, maybe?
I think Ranax sits up and says, what?
They don't know who King Magaru or the Ruby Phoenix are.
No, not that part. The secluded part? That's not true.
What are you talking about?
do you mean?
That guy you were talking to, he said he came here last year.
Huh?
Yeah, he was like telling me he joined the monastery because his husband died. Like, he's from the outside.
The
So
fuck?
then, how the
Oh, hold
hell
on.
did they not?
Should we ask them what year it is?
Yes. And go
Yeah.
to several different people.
Let's go find a few people and ask them what fucking year it is.
Oh, this is getting worrying.
Judy tracks down Seon.
So do you guys do you leave, or are you going to talk about the tasks with the Arms of Balance? Because
I can do it in just a second.
Okay, so you're gonna go talk to other people first.
Yeah.
You find Seon. He is, I think at this, like, he's just kind of like sitting and reading.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up at you as you approach and says, Master Chuji, hello, nice to see you again. What can I do for you?
Chuji puts a hand on your shoulder.
What year is it?
I don't believe in years.
What year is it?
I don't believe in years.
Chuji grips his shoulder a little harder.
Does it really matter, frankly?
What year is it?
It's... Consider a flat plane.
I'm not considering shit.
Time
What
and
year
space
is it,
move
Seong?
in
They start shaking him.
Hey, excuse me. I don't know how to tell you that I just do not believe in years.
That's cool that you don't believe in it. What fucking year is it?
I don't. No, I don't believe in them, so I
You don't know,
count.
or you're not going to tell me.
Why don't you ask about eras?
What era is it?
I don't believe in eras.
My God.
Wow.
Do you want to talk to anyone else?
Yeah, why don't they look for somebody else?
Do you go find someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, you approach someone else, and they're like, "Oh, dude, it's 4721. This is the current year."
Okay.
You get the feeling that maybe Seon's just kind of a little weirdo.
Just a little freak, man.
Masami, did you go with the others, or are you still with Arms of Balance?
I think they went with the others, but immediately once the person said current year, they walked back to the house. They were like, all right, well, that was a bust.
You go back, Masami, like maybe before the others, because they're still like trying to maybe figure out. And I think Bhavana, as she's catching her breath, says, "You look stressed, Masami."
There's a lot weighing on this, and some of it the process to getting to the end just... A lot of this feels like a waste of time.
Bhavana kind of smiles a little crookedly and says, "Maybe you ought to learn something from this purveyor of perception thing, huh?"
I think this
Everything?
was probably my one mental block. Accepting that things are just as they are.
It's tempting to want to control everything, right?
Believe me, after some of the shit I've seen, it is.
I think she kind of sits up, and as the others are approaching, she sends you one last look and says, "Maybe we'll both get further if we just accept that sometimes things work in strange ways, and we don't have to understand it, we just have to roll with it."
I guess so. I swear to God, that newbie is on my last nerve.
He's kind of cute.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what to tell you. I like a man who's rather pathetic.
Oh my God, you're into male fails.
Oh my God.
I'll remember that. You're not gonna live that
Okay.
down, you know that, right?
You know, maybe I trusted you, Masami. Maybe I trusted you. Told me a deep secret, Masami, and I felt perhaps after you telling me about your past, I could trust you with a secret as well.
Hey,
Fucking Bhavana is like,
Bhavana. Masami puts an arm around her and he goes, "Bhavana, you've known me for months now. You know that I'm a little shit."
Bhavana pouts. And Sanku and Chuji, you guys get back.
Hi guys.
Raunak says, "So what's this about a dance?"
We're trying to summon the celestial dragon.
The what? I think all of them like sit up because they were there at the opera, so they know who the celestial dragon is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bumat says, "From the story?
Yeah, we found
What's that have to do with the dance?"
he can grant wishes, and there's a
yeah.
ritual to summon him.
Bhavana looks like she's going to like complain about this being ridiculous, but I think she catches your eye, Masami, and exhales, says, "Why not? Okay."
Remember why I was stressed, Bhavana? Remember me saying that this might be all a waste of time, Bhavana?
She shrugs and says, "Or it could be exactly what you need. We just wanted to know if they knew any way to find her. We didn't have any leads. We just came here and hoped they'd know. You've already got something. That's more than us."
Fair enough.
And I think Sunita in the back says, "This is all lovely, but..." The kind of like, you know, the sylph elf, she kind of like exhales a cloud from her mouth and says, can we please give you some of our tasks? If you can finish all of our tasks, then all of us will be able to get to the trial at the end of the day, and then we'll have a chance to actually meet the abbot.
Yeah.
We've done this trial every day after doing our tasks, and each time we don't pass. So maybe this time with you guys helping, we'll have more energy for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure.
Boom out, hands in faces. Yes, because again, there are some days where we don't even get to the trial, and I'm sick of it.
That's fair.
Well, extra pair of hands.
So, basically, the tasks that you are being given, there are 4 here. You can do just 3 and let the Arms of Balance do the last one, or you can take all of them for them. So, first off, there's chopping firewood. It seems that a previous monk installed an undol to heat the monastery's floors with firewood collected from a grove of trees behind the temple. So you'd need to catch firewood for this basically heating system for the temple, right?
Okay.
Then there's striking a bell. There's a giant bell by the main gate that needs to be struck in a specific pattern according to the time of day, cycle of the sun, moon, and current zodiac year. There's Indian meditation. Basically, there's group meditation, and you guys can help out and take part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the one that maybe jumps out at Chuji, catching a yak.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's small herds of yaks roaming the mountains, and they provide food and drink to the monks. Someone needs to catch a dree, which is a female yak, and bring it back to the temple alive.
Yeah, Chuji could do that.
What about the rest of you? There's chopping firewood, there's striking the bell, and there's aiding in meditation.
I mean, Masami can do all 3 of those because they meditate every morning for their spells.
Mm-hmm.
Catching firewood shouldn't be too much of an issue because that looks like it requires either strength or speed. And striking a bell, you either have to be really good at rhythm games or strong enough to strike a bell.
Well, if you're good with all of them, what about you, Senku? Is there any you're interested in doing?
What are the tasks again?
Chopping firewood, striking a bell, or aiding meditation?
Maybe striking a bell? I feel like Senku could do that.
Okay, sure. Masami, do you want to do both the firewood and the meditation? Do you want to do just one and let the Arms of Balance wail and cry as they do the last one? What's the plan?
Masami looks at all 4 of them and
They look
sees that
so fucking tired.
they look so goddamn tired. So I think they'll step up and do both the firewood and the meditation.
Okay.
They've had enough of this torture.
Okay, we'll start with you, Masami. Masami, you make your way out into the woods behind the place. And something you notice very quickly is that the trees, it seems that maybe the blessed water used to nourish them means that these trees are extremely resilient. Most trees you would be able to fell in one swipe. Most trees you'd be able to fell in one swipe at this point, right? You're a fucking legendary hero. You could cut down a whole forest in one cut.
They could
right?
use their fucking sword as a tree chopping fucking thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the thing is, these trees look like they're actually going to be a challenge to cut down. You know? So, you only need 1 tree worth of wood to keep the floors heated for the next year.
Fucking alright. Who's the dude that invented this?
In real life, the Koreans, and they're extremely good at what they do.
You know what? That's fair.
So, you basically need to reduce a tree to 0 HP.
Okay.
What do you do?
I just have to bring all the wood back in one piece. No chars, no nothing. Just just pretty clean cuts. Okay.
Now, I will say, well, yeah, I'll let you try it.
They're gonna cast True Strike on themselves.
Okay. Your sword glows white and your eyes narrow.
And then they're gonna go into Arcane Cascade.
Okay. Jesus.
And then they're going to Spell Strike with Telekinetic Projectile. And they're gonna do the same thing of like the comma at their waist is gonna like try to chop the tree down.
Okay, so all of this is going to be slashing damage, right?
Yes.
Okay, tree strikes in one go. And this would normally be 4 actions, but you do have the speed rune, so I am going to allow this to work.
Okay.
So go for it. Make me this attack roll and roll twice, take the higher result.
50.
Well, you rolled a 36 on the first one, and that would have been a miss. A 50, on the other hand, that is a crit. So you aim carefully, and you swing! And now, Masami, roll me that damage.
What's crit damage? So it's 46.
Okay. That's 46 from the weapon itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now roll me extra damage from the spell.
Knockback projectile is double of 31 because it was a crit.
Okay. So 31 plus 31 is 62.
62.
62 plus 46.
Uh-huh.
That is
108 damage.
108 damage plus 20 weakness to slashing.
Okay. So...
That's going to be 128 damage in one turn.
Okay.
And I think in one go, this tree, which had 100 HP, goes down in one. And I need you to know, Masami, that if you fail to break it in one go, it immediately restores itself.
No way!
So if you had not got that crit, the tree would have, like, healed itself back up. I think maybe you tried it a few times on other trees and you noticed it wasn't working, so that's why you went all fucking nuclear on this one. How does this look at the end? Like, how does the tree fell happen?
Oh my god. So, I think after testing it on other trees and like, not exactly noticing what was going on, but noticing that it was a lot harder than usual, they decide, okay, if normal strikes aren't going to work, then what about a spell strike? So they looked at all of their weapons, decided what was going to happen, and we were like, what? And they were just like, well, I haven't used my combat in a while. Telekinetic projectile will help me do this faster. And I could just spell strike the tree. I also have true strike. So yeah, I think this should be fine. And then they do it. The way that it looks is that I think they chop the tree like at the base, and when their comma come out from their waist, it slices it in a few different areas. And when they figure out that it fucking worked and the tree collapsed, they're like, oh, huh, better than I expected.
Well, it works, and now you have a tree that you're able to drag back to the monastery and heat up everything for a whole year. Not too shabby.
Dice will roll will return after these messages. We now return to Dice will roll.
Now, Sanku, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay. Sanku, you stand in front of the monastery, and you've been given this bell to ring, and Lolo's on your shoulder and says, now, Sanku, have you memorized the sheet of paper with everything you're trying to do here?
Well, I know that I'm supposed to ring this bell.
Yes, but in the exact pattern. Remember, it's in a specific pattern according to the time of day, cycle of the sun and moon, current zodiac year.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me look at that again.
It is very complicated. So normally this would require a performance check.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of the fact of what it's based on, and the fact that you have the librarian staff, I will allow you to use nature. If you can, like, tell me how you use it, your librarian staff, and, like, all your knowledge of, like, this kind of stuff.
Considering the fact that if it's based on, like, the day, time, like, zodiac, the year, all of that, I think that's pretty nature-based. I don't think it's something that people think of as nature-based sometimes, but that is literally just, like, that is nature, I think.
Yeah.
Plus I think that a lot of things in nature are directly affected by specifically, like, those times and years and stuff. So, I think it would make sense. I think if you looked through books, or if you looked through, like, a book for, like, the exacts.
Okay. Are you using your librarian staff? Anything there to, like, do it, or what?
Maybe Timely Tutor, maybe?
Okay, what's Timely Tutor do?
You serve as an astral connection between your eidolon or familiar. and the Akashic Record, a demiplane consisting of a comprehensive psychic library. Then turn to the creature for advice. If you cast a spell on your familiar adds your spellcasting ability modifier on checks to recall knowledge with the lore skill of your choice, much like it does for acrobatics and stealth. Your familiar must have the speech familiar ability in order to share any information it learns with you. But if you lose physical contact with the target, the connection to the Akashic Record is severed and timely tutor immediately ends.
Okay. So this, if you cast this, you will connect Lolo's brain to a massive, powerful demiplane library of knowledge, and he'll be able to give you sick dragon lore.
Okay.
Now, dragon lore is not nature.
Oh.
How do you... I'm not saying no, I'm saying how. How are you going to use dragon lore to be able to figure out this belting? Because you need to do it in a pattern according to the time of day, cycle of the sun, moon, and current zodiac year. If you can justify it, I will allow it.
Dragons are nature heart. No. That'd be funny if it worked. But maybe there are dragons that are specifically connected to stars.
Yes, outer dragons are a whole thing here. There's lunar dragons, solar dragons, time dragons, void dragons, vortex dragons.
Then if Senku were to use that to ask Lolo about specifically lore like that, maybe?
Okay. So, Senku, roleplay this out for me. How does it work?
I think Senku turns to Lolo and he's like, would you mind if I casted a spell from this new staff?
Yes, Senku. Sure. What one?
It's Timely Tutor. It'll connect you to all of the books in the Akashic Record. And you'll know everything.
Well, I don't see why
basically.
not. I'm not sure it'll have a particularly large difference. I am already quite knowledgeable.
Yeah, but then you can learn even more.
It's very true.
Didn't you tell me that I was still a student and I'm already, really powerful? I think you can still learn stuff.
I don't know if that's the case. But I'll give it a shot. The outer dragons, yes? That's what you're looking for?
Yeah. I want to know exactly what times and, I want to know everything about, what I'd need to be doing.
All right. You're looking for lore on the stars and the sun and moon and how they relate to this, pattern. A way to simplify what you're looking for in terms you already understand. I see.
Yep. I think it's a little easier if it's in a way that I understand, so.
Well, go ahead. Hit me.
Okay.
And I think he sort of holds his staff out with upright, so that it's on, so that it's he's holding it like a staff that you walk on. He doesn't usually do that. Usually twirls it all the time. I think he speaks runes or whatever. I don't know how you he says the spell. Are you supposed to hold actual physical contact with Lolo?
Yeah, you need to be holding him or the spell won't work.
And I think Senku puts a hand on his head because he is simply sitting on. I think he's hanging out of the bag, and I think that then he casts the spell, and I think it. I imagine it makes his eyes glow or something.
Oh, holy shit! Senku, you touch his head like this, and his eyes suddenly start glowing white. And, in the light, you can see vague numbers that you don't know. You know? They are numbers beyond the decimal system we have. And he opens his mouth, and more of that light shines out. And when he speaks, it's in a voice that is not one you recognize. He says, Senku, Witch Prince of the Sea! The knowledge that you seek is as dust. The outer dragons, the way that they map the skies above, the charts that they pull from the stars, I shall share upon you, and you shall understand the methodology behind this performance.
Okay.
And he fucking info dumps the hell out on you.
Senku is shocked.
He gets to add a +5 to his nature roll, and his nature is already extremely high because he is that good at it, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Lola rolled a fucking 50. So that's gonna be a critical success. Sanku, you listen to this thing and you understand the ideas behind the patterns of this bell, and you nod and you take that fucking stick and you start bum, 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 and it's amazing. You take your hand off Lolo's head and he goes, what was that?
I think somebody else was talking through you almost. Are you okay?
I'm better than okay. I'm magnificent.
Well, I'm glad that you're okay. That was really intense.
And Sanku, you do the thing? Do you start banging on that gong?
Yeah.
And as you're doing this, you see a few monks nearby who watch and nod approvingly at the end of it. Seems you did it exactly perfect.
Woohoo!
Shuji,
Hey,
do you want to catch a yak?
kinda, yeah. I've been wanting to all this week.
Yeah. You woke up a few days ago and thought, man, I really hope that I get to catch a yak one day.
I've been fucking craving it, man. Come on, give it to me.
Yeah.
Give me my fucking fix.
So, Shuji,
Hi.
it took you a few hours, but you tracked them down. The herd of yaks roaming the mountains. There's several of them, and they're unaware of your presence as you peek out from a bush, squinting. You know that what you have to do. You need to grab one of these motherfuckers and bring it all the way back to the temple. But first, you need to catch them. Shuji, roll me initiative.
Okay.
Okay, so Chuji, you roll initiative.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go for the yak? Because you see a Dree, a lady yak, and she's like nearby, just chewing on some stuff.
I have a question.
You know
They're
that
just-
she's the one.
Yeah, they're just wild yaks, right?
Yeah, these are wild yaks.
The yak has to be alive.
Yes.
Okay. I think that Chuji is going to try and use an item that they haven't used yet because I haven't gotten to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I maybe used it once. I don't remember
Okay.
when though. Chuji takes out their immovable rod.
Okay. And what's the plan?
They're going to approach this yak from the back.
Mhm. Okay.
They're going to try and sneak up behind it. Their plan is to jump on top of it and to have it kind of fall to the ground, and then they will use the immovable rod to kind of stick it there and like pin it.
Okay, that's very clever. So you are gonna rush up and do that?
As as carefully as they can without alerting the yak to their presence.
Well, Chuji, I'm afraid it's already too late.
Okay, cool.
You creep out. And I think it looks like you're almost about to do it. But this is where I reveal that you actually did not go first in initiative. This yak, this fucking yak outsped you. And you, like, are... I think it's when you jump up and try to, like, come to pin it down, the yak moves insanely fast. Like, it spins on one hoof and fucking skids away, and it looks at you with, like, narrowed eyes. And, like, the other yaks all jump to attention. And for a moment, as you land, and you're like, fuck. You look at this yak, and this yak looks at you. And you understand that this yak has fighting spirit. And it turns, and it spends its entire turn doing the craziest shit possible.
Oh my god.
It turns and it runs 60 feet. There is a wall 30 feet away. It runs at that wall, and it climbs up it.
What the fuck?
This is not a supernatural power. Yaks can just do that. It scales the fucking wall, and it runs away.
What the fuck?
What do you do?
New plan. Chuji takes
Okay.
out the Phoenix fighting fan.
My mouth drops. Like, my jaw fucking drops. What do you mean you take out the Phoenix fighting fan?
They take it out.
The legendary artifact that was gifted to you by the Ruby Phoenix.
It still works.
It does still work.
Okay. My thought process here, since clearly you don't understand my genius. I trap the yak in the maze. I ready an action for it to come back. I use that action to lasso it and fucking get it under control.
Okay. Sure.
Because it'll
Are you
be in
going
the
for a
same
random-
place from where
Yeah.
it disappeared. So I'll be fucking ready.
Are you going for like a random yak nearby, 50-50 chance it's a boy? Or are you chasing after the one who has scaled that fucking cliff?
I mean, technically I can go after it because my move speed is 55 feet.
Yeah, but there's a wall.
Yeah, but I ignore tough terrain.
It's a fucking wall!
How tall is the fucking wall? If a yak can
It's
fucking climb it, a martial artist can.
It is an 85-degree angle. And it's about 30 feet tall.
Okay.
The yak is, by the way, atop the cliff, looking down at you with those narrowed fighter's eyes.
I can jump really high.
You can jump really high. You would need to jump extremely high to get up there. And you would not necessarily have enough actions, but it would just run away again, you know? You could just chase it.
Chuji sprints. They're in stoked
Okay.
flame stance, so they're as fast as they possibly can be. They
Okay.
sprint towards it. They jump as high as they possibly can up this fucking wall.
Make me an athletics check to fucking bound up the cliff.
38.
A 38? That means you jump 38 feet up. That means you do it. You literally jump 10 feet above the yak, land, and you pull out the Phoenix fighting fan.
Yes.
That's all 3 actions on your turn.
Yes.
The yak it sees you and it squints, you know? And I genuinely think that the two of you have like a fucking JoJo face-off for just a moment. Before this yak turns and dashes into the woods.
Little bitch.
It is your turn, Chuji. You have 3 actions.
How many
It is
actions?
60 feet away.
60 feet away? Okay, then I take... Would I be able to use the fan from 5 feet away?
Maze has a range of 30 feet.
Okay, sick. I get it up there with one fucking action, and I maze that bitch.
You run up to this wild animal. You flick that fan open and you swipe, and reality unfolds around the yak, and you send it to another plane. And we see the fucking yak in Hao Jin's repository, where she just keeps all of her fucking stuff.
What does the yak do?
The yak fucking runs around confused because it is a yak. It has never been indoors yet before.
Could you imagine being like the guy who hypothetically takes care of this place, and then just suddenly a yak appears?
The yak is running around very confused. It's charging. It's angry. And Chuji, I think you're there literally for like maybe half a minute waiting for it to find its way out.
Yeah.
You're prepared by now.
Yeah, Chuji's got like rope out. They've got their fucking immovable rod also, just in case.
I'm going to give you, with the
fucking
rope and the
cute.
immovable rod, I'm going to give you a +2 on your athletics roll to catch it when it comes
Okay.
out. It gets out. What the fuck do you do?
I fucking catch it. I throw the rope around its neck. Not like tight, not enough to fucking strangle the thing, but like to wrangle it.
Okay. So make me an athletics check.
I'm using a hero point.
What do you roll?
A nat 1.
Okay. So, how do you save this disaster? Because, like, it charges out. What's the disaster and how do you salvage it?
I think they fucking fall off of the yak. They like jump on it and they fall off immediately. But they
Good work.
they use the momentum of them falling down to like pull that rope down, like on the back of the yak's neck to like pull it down with them. 49.
That's much better. That's a crit. Shuji, how does this work? How do you catch the fucking fighting yak?
I think it does in fact fall with them, and as it like falls on its side. You know how you like I don't know if teenagers actually do this, but like tipping cows.
Like in the Cars movie?
Yeah, like in the Cars movie.
Chuji, you fucking tip this yak over. It falls onto its side and lets out a confused grunt. And it struggles for a moment before it gives in, knowing that you are the better fighter, and it welcomes death. How the fuck are you getting this back to the fucking monastery?
Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess they make sure that the yak is secure with the rope, and they fucking lead it back. I don't know if the yak fights them on this, probably, right?
It fucking... No, I think... You know what? I think it has a respect for you by the end of this.
Okay. And they take a nice walk together.
You have made a new friend. What do you name the yak?
Yakko.
I'm never letting you name an animal again.
Well, you have to name it now because you said... You asked me what I would name it.
You it's called Yakko. I'm not ever letting you name another animal.
That's a lie, because you will, and you just will forget about it.
I'll forget about it. You take Yakko back to the monastery. I think it's actually Jedung who you take it back to. The Yeti monk stands and watches, and as you bring this yak back, says, "I see you found a mighty one indeed."
Muddy pain in the ass.
He takes the leash and says, "Well done so far. Perhaps I'll see you at the trial tonight."
So far. Oh, whatever. Yeah, you'll see me.
Just fucking throw the rope at him.
Masami,
Yes.
as the evening approaches, you find yourself getting ready to help with some meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You find that several monks are creating a sand mandala in the temple's main worship hall. And you have been tasked with aiding them. What a mandala is, it's a geometric configuration of symbols. If you guys at home look it up, just Google mandala, you'll see it and you're like, oh, one of those things. It's basically like a pattern of squares and angles that repeats itself a lot.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
I
used
know
as
that.
a religious icon in Hinduism and Buddhism.
Yeah.
Okay? It is genuinely beautiful. And they are making a large one out of sand in the main worship hall.
Ooh.
And it's your job to give a hand. And I think Sayan is here. I think Sayan is kind of like just chilling as you come in and says, yes, Master Takahara, hi. Would you like to give to help?
Yeah, I can help out.
So to do this, you're going to either need to make me a crafting or thievery check to place individual grains in their proper place.
I can probably do thievery. Probably. 43.
Yeah, okay, Masami. You are surprisingly good at this.
Surprisingly.
Like, why is Masami specifically so good at this? Talk me through this.
They're adept, they're precise. Also, they probably learned different forms of meditation, and this one probably rung a bell to them. So part of it is improvising, which that's kind of what happens when they do any sort of free checks in the first place. It's just them improvising.
Are you, I think you do put, a lot of your soul into it. So while you are putting a lot of your own interpretation into it, you find yourself almost getting lost in it. And it's beautiful. But at the end of it, all this black and white sand, you realize that actually makes a picture.
Mm-hmm.
It depicts a massive black and white dragon descending upon the top of the mountain. A clear allusion to the celestial dragon.
Okay. Cool.
Would you like to make me a perception check?
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting, Masami.
Okay.
Mandalas often tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
They will have different scenes in them. And you notice that in some of these panels in the mandala that you have created both through just letting stuff happen and yet at the same time predestination, predetermination, telling you what will happen.
Okay.
That there is a story being told here. and you see that there's a figure featuring in the mandala. In most of the scenes, it is a woman with long hair. But in the last scene, the scene of offering, she has a shorn head. And I think you can infer secret ritual addition.
Okay.
You can make a sacrifice to the celestial dragon by cutting off a not unsubstantial amount of your hair and giving it up to the dragon as a sign of being ready to give up a part of yourself. And that will seriously boost your the amount of favor the dragon has with you, which may mean good things. Now, this does mean you don't have to go bald or anything, but you would have to like cut off a substantial part of your hair or give it up.
Mm-hmm.
You or someone else, you know? How are you looking at this? Like, are you like deeply like staring? Are you just like, noticing it? How do you notice this?
I think when they see the entire picture together, they're standing so they can see the entire thing. And I think they instinctively like grasp their hair. They are lost in thought.
I think slowly coming over your shoulder, Seon comes and says, What are you looking at?
The mandala.
Huh? What about it?
I saw something in it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Look at you, having your first interpretation of it immediately. You know we just kind of make it up as we go, right?
Weren't you the one that said things would just fall into place and things would happen?
I think
that isn't exactly making it up as you go.
Seon kind of like smiles coyly. He says, Isn't it?
I think they squint at them. They flip their hair back over their shoulder and just walk away.
And a few hours pass. And you find the Arms of Balance standing under that tree, which seems to be frozen in time. Right?
Okay.
And the three of you are grouping up. And the Arms of Balance seem tired, but more than that, they seem relieved. Bhavana exhales as you approach and says, Oh, I cannot thank you enough. It's so good not to have to worry about it.
I'm glad.
Well, don't worry about it. Have you guys gotten well, I shouldn't say enough, but a decent amount of rest at least?
Bumat nods and says, Yes, thanks to you, Tree. It feels strange doing the trial without having done any of the work, but goodness knows we needed a rest.
Well, of
Well,
course.
Good. And I can kind of understand why you might have struggled with the trees.
Bumat's face falls when you say the word tree.
What happened with the tree?
Yeah, what was
They
that?
put a hand on his shoulder.
I mean, he just frowns. And Ragnar says, Hey, don't feel bad. If any of you fail, by the way, like at anything, it's fine, because there are days where we don't succeed at anything. That yak thing, I don't know why they keep trying to get us to do it. It is an impossible task.
Oh, I got it.
What?
It's pretty easy. I mean, I just had to chase
They
him
all
for a while.
rear up a little bit and stare at you.
Chuji, who had trouble with it, just wanting to gloat.
Sunisha's like, but it's so fast.
I'm faster.
You're talking to Chuji here.
They just grin.
I think they just slump. And as this is happening, coming up from behind comes Jedung, the Yeti. And he stands and says, Radiant winds, Arms of Balance. Your tasks have all been successfully completed today. Are you ready to put yourselves through the final trial before meeting with the Grand Master?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and he smiles and says, "Then enter forward." And he gestures at a door that is in the wall nearest to you in the temple. And he does not explain any further.
So I think Sanku sort of turns. He's like, "Do you know what it is?"
And I think Bhavana says, "Yes, essentially what's going to happen is..." And as she says that, Jidong kind of calls out and says, "No! Remember,"
Huh?
kind of leans forward, "spontaneity. Letting things happen as they come. Don't spoil it."
Okay.
The Arspans sadly go forward, ready to take part of this trial that they have yet to succeed at. Do you guys enter
Okay.
into the door and see what comes next?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so set the scene. As soon as you enter into this long corridor, the lights of the braziers all kind of flash on. The arms of balance all kind of pump themselves up, and then as soon as they hear Jidong roar, they start running down this corridor. Masami, it's your turn. I assume you're all gonna start running as well, right?
Yeah, they're gonna run, and then they're gonna cast Longstrider on themselves.
Okay, so what does Longstrider do again? Does it...
You get a plus 10 foot status bonus on your speed.
Okay,
And this is at level 2, so it's for 8 hours. Oh, okay.
I need you to make me an Arcana check to see if you can cast it while you are running.
Okay.
Because this, as you are doing this, Jedung is running behind you as fast as possible.
Wow. Fucking, okay, that's 4.
At 32. Okay. I think that you're gonna have a -2 on your first roll. He doesn't catch you immediately, but he does get close. I think you barely avoid him literally just grabbing your head and smashing into the wall beside you. I think you feel his claws in your hair behind you, and that is generally quite frightening because he is a big fucking Yeti.
Okay.
And he roars out at you, and Masami, you just dash, but you are, I think, kind of at the back of the pack at the moment, which is a very scary thing to be. Sanku, you can tell you won't have time to take out your staff and fly away on it. You're gonna need to just run.
I think he goes, ah! He goes running. I think he's a pretty fast runner, in general. I don't think that he goes out of his way to do, running himself usually because he really likes flying. But I think he is, he's, running with his staff, it is, held with both hands. I think he's pretty good at it, though.
Well, Sanku, you fucking dash. You are going as fast as you can. And, Shuji, you too, I assume?
Yeah.
Shuji, how are you running?
I think at first Chuji was ready to turn around and fight, but they saw the others running and were like, maybe not. They're running as fast as they can. They've entered Stoked Flame Stance.
Okay.
Fucking hopping off walls.
Well, you, as soon as you enter Stoked Flame Stance, I think you outrun everyone else, right? All of the arms of balance, you zip past all of them.
Yeah.
And you are therefore the first to see the first obstacle in your test.
Okay.
The corridor ends. And it just becomes a deep fucking pit. And in this deep fucking pit, there are it is dotted with several vertical logs of varying heights.
Okay.
And you pause, and Bhavana jumps past you, and she jumps from one log to the next, to the next, to the next, and gets to the other side. But as she is running, arrows get shot out of the walls as they're running through, and you know that's going to happen to you.
Cool. Okay.
Masami, it is your turn. As Shuji gets here, you see this is happening, and I think you surge forward, kind of leaving the Yeti in the dust behind you, and you see this obstacle. If you have any interesting way of getting across, you can go for it, or you'll need to make the athletics or acrobatics checks to jump from one log to the next. You need to make 3 successes if you just go with the skills, and on 1 fail, you are out.
You said it was athletics or acrobatics?
Yep.
33?
That is definitely a pass on the first one. The DC is 30.
Okay.
So that's the first jump. You jump. You got another one. Do it again.
43.
That's another pass. That's actually a crit success. Masami, you jump over a boat. 1, 2. As you are jumping, though, there are arrows coming out. And let's see if any of those arrows hit you. Does a 31 hit you, Masami?
That's a crit fail.
Okay, none of these arrows even come close to hitting you. And you dash, and you're on the other side of the pit now. Sanku, it is your turn. You get to the pit. Masami surged past you. As you are running, Bumat is charging, and he is like side by side with you, Sanku. And then suddenly you see a white hand surge in front of both of you, and then grab onto Bumat's shoulder, and you hear Bumat go "Ah!" as he is dragged back by the Yeti and thrown into the wall, and he is knocked KO.
Oh, shit.
Damn, okay. Sorry, Bama.
So, Sanku, if you have any way to get across, you can.
I will be using my Ender Pearl.
Yeah? Okay, so what do you mean, Ender Pearl? What are you doing?
I have a Banmoen swapping stone, which it works. The best way that I could describe it is that it is literally like an Ender Pearl. You throw a stone, you throw it to a space within 100 feet. The stone casts Dimension Door on you and transports you to itself and destroys the stone.
Okay, so Sanku, as you're running, you grab the stone out of your pocket and you just fucking hurl it as hard as you can across the way. And as soon as it hits the wall, there's a shatter, and then you zoop, and you're over there.
Okay.
This destroys the stone that you got from the Unreal Tower back on Danger Island. But hey, it's getting you closer to your goal, so worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's you. You're across.
I don't know if he says anything, but I do think that he picks up like a shard of it. I don't think he likes leaving stuff behind like that.
You stop for a moment, just pick up whatever's left, put it in your pocket. And
Okay,
dashing.
I'm going. Yeah.
And because you teleport across, I don't think there's any arrow. You just,
Mm-hmm.
Chuji.
Mm-hmm.
It's your turn. You, I think, paused at the edge for a second and looked over your shoulder, and you saw dear, sweet Bumat get his shit rocked. Masami and Sanku are already across. You need to go as well. You need to go, man.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta fucking go, man. I'm confident in my athletics. Very much so, because it is a plus 31.
Okay.
So I want to make those 3 rolls, because otherwise it would just be Chuji hopping.
Mm-hmm. So go for it.
Okay. 44.
Crit success. You leap over like several really quick. Hop, 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 hop.
45.
Jesus, you're really good at this. Yeah, Chuji, you hop, 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 hop. It's like nothing, and you dash ahead, and you're good. And I think as you're jumping, you are jumping past Sunita, and Sunita is like using clouds to appear under her feet as she runs, but they're a little too slow.
Oh no.
And the Yeti jumps out, and Jedung grabs her and fucking spikes her down the pit, and you hear her go, ah! And she is presumably knocked KO.
Presumably fucking dead.
She's gone. We killed her.
You killed her.
You guys keep running, I assume.
Yeah.
So that's 2 of the people on Arms of Balance KO, by the way.
Great.
Run.
Fantastic.
However, what you see next is a fucking JoJo reference.
Oh. I know those.
There is a tower in front of you all.
I love that part
And
of
it
JoJo.
leads to the next floor. And this tower, as soon as you come close, you realize it has few hand and footholds. And in fact, I think, Masami, you, with your magic sense, recognize that this thing is enchanted with magical grease. How the fuck are you guys gonna get up? That's the next question. Masami, it is your turn. You can hear Jadung getting closer. He is chasing after all of you. Bhavana is just like, you see her electrocute her hands, and she slaps onto the side and starts climbing up as fast as she can using static energy. And Brownock is just jumping and trying to climb as best as he can. What do you do?
I can't imagine boots of spider slippers. I can't imagine slippers of spider climbing working against magical fucking grease.
I will allow it. It's fucking magic. It's magic boots versus magic grease.
Okay. All right, then yeah, they activate their fucking boots. Well, they activate their slippers, and they just start running up this thing like they did from that the one challenge.
Yeah, okay, sure, fuck it, you do it. You dash up, and you get up to the top of the van, and she's catching her breath for a second. And I think she kind of smiles at you and says, we keep doing these trials together, don't we? First, the ones with that back on Danger Island with the bananas, now this?
I mean, I'll admit, there's some fun to it.
She smiles, and then her face drops because she hears below her, ah! Because Jadung has grabbed onto Raunak and fucking yanked him off by the tail, slamming him into the ground. KO!
Masami, I think, looks down over the fucking wall and looks at Bhavana and goes, I think we should keep going.
That's fucking... I have never gone this far. I don't know what's next. Let's go. Senku, it's your turn. What the hell do you do? How do you climb up this horrible, horrible tower? Do you have any way up, or do you have any plans? Or are you just going to try actually climb it?
How tall is it?
The tower is... it's approximately 30 feet tall.
How tall does Spout go?
As far as you can roll nature.
Okay. I cast Spout.
You cast Spout underneath your feet to just propel you upwards?
Yep, I think he braces himself and he casts Spout literally right below him.
Hell yeah. Okay, sure. Roll me that nature check.
42.
Yep, crit success. You launch yourself into the air, and you fly up, and you land, and you keep running into this dark room with the others. Woohoo! Shuji, you're the last one down here, and Jadung is looking at you.
I fucking easily jumped 30 feet. Are you kidding?
30-foot vertical leap!
30-foot vertical fucking leap.
Okay, cloud jump for me. Roll me this athletics check.
42.
Okay. 42. You launch yourself up. Mm-hmm. And you easily, crit success, land up, and you're in that dark room. And the last thing you see before the tunnel closes behind you is Jadung smiling. And then you're all plunged into darkness because the way up, like the hole you just jumped through, it seals shut behind you. And you are just in pitch darkness, all of you.
I ignite my fists.
You ignite your fists, and the room lights up. And as soon as you ignite your fists, I think like several braziers on the walls kind of like catch fire as well. And you can see that you're in a perfectly square room with no exit.
What the fuck?
And then the walls to left or right start to slowly move inwards.
No fucking way.
Closing walls.
Dude, I fucking love Star Wars.
Bhavana's like, oh, no, come on, it's not fair. There's no way out of this. Was it all a trick from the start?
No. There's absolutely a way out of this, right?
There's nothing. There's nothing in this room.
No, Bhavana, calm down. I'm sure that there's something in here.
Masami, it is your turn. What the fuck do you do? Every turn that ends without you guys escaping, the walls will have moved 10 feet. Once 3 turns have finished, you're probably gonna get crushed. So, Masami, what do you do?
Okay. Ugh. Oh my god. I think they're just... Can I make a perception check to see what is around and see if there's like anything that is a possible like latch, lever, something to get us out?
Yeah, sure. Make me a perception check, yeah.
Okay. Blind, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, no, you do see something.
Okay.
On the wall across from you, there is a panel. And on these panels, there seem to be... It's basically like indented into the wall is this large illustration of a tree with like leaves kind of like being pulled off it by the wind. And you can see like the wind engrave into the wall, you know, like in like spirals.
Okay.
And you realize that there are several gems embedded in the wall in random places.
Okay.
That's all you can. That's what you see in front of you.
Okay.
Walls are closing in.
I think they're gonna point this out to the group, and say, okay, so we have gems, we have a panel, and pictures of a tree and wind. Something has... I'm not sure. Maybe there's like a elemental puzzle going on here?
I mean, I know about elements. I'm not seeing... It's a tree. What do you want me to say?
Look, maybe it's wind magic. Something that has to do with wind magic.
Sunita's down there. She's so obviously frustrated that things aren't working out in a predictable way.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, something you realize now, is that Arms of Balance have always kind of like... When they are given proper instruction in advance, like back on Danger Island, they were told, this is what you do this time. They always formulated a plan.
Mm-hmm.
But here, thinking on their feet, they are not having fun. You know? Especially not Bhavana, who seems to really hate this kind of disorganization.
Oh.
Team of autistic people.
Masami, what do you do now?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure.
If you don't know, you can leave it to the others.
Chuji has something to do.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna probably study the wall and the gemstones for just a little bit longer, just to see if there's anything else that's a clue.
Okay, make me another perception check. I think you notice that the wind, like the signs of the winds, are kind of like deeply engraved into the walls, and you notice that some of them lead from gemstones to leaves. Like basically from the leaves on the tree, the wind kind of curls into around these gemstones, like leading from the leaf to the gem.
Okay, so the gemstone is important somehow.
That's all you really
and it
know.
has gemstone, wind embedded gemstone. Okay, they relate that to the group. That's their turn.
Okay, Chuji, do you want to skip ahead of Sanku?
I was just gonna do something dumb. Sure.
Well, dumb is good. Try it.
No thoughts. Brute force. Punch wall. Adamantine fist.
All right.
Okay. Oh my god, you got adamantine fists.
Break wall. Wall break. Kill.
You know, Wall Stats Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Now, this is my favorite part of Pathfinder.
I'm gonna brute force my way out of this puzzle.
Definitely stone. Make me an attack roll against the wall, you fucking animal.
I'm gonna 1-inch punch the wall with 3 actions.
Okay.
41.
A 41 is gonna be a hit. Roll me that damage. It has hardness.
43.
If that fucking matters. 43.
43 damage to the wall.
How much hardness does adamantine fists ignore? So stupid. I love it. An adamantine weapon. You ignore half of its hardness, which means that... How much damage is that?
43.
So that means you deal a total of 36 damage to this wall. The wall has 56 HP total.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 36. That means it has 20 HP left. And once it goes below 26 HP, the wall is broken. Not destroyed, but broken.
Mm-hmm.
Are you punching the wall with, like, the gemstone panels and stuff?
I'm punching any of them that are moving. So one of those two
Okay,
walls.
so it... Yeah. Shuji, you punch that, and it breaks, and it works. You break the machine. And Bhavana just looks at you stupidly, like, what?
Go with the flow.
He's
Fuck their flow. They're going with mine.
okay, dang.
Does it really work that way?
I mean, the wall stopped, didn't it? It's broken.
I think Masami puts a hand on Bhavana's shoulder and just says, sometimes needing a plan is not always the best idea. Learning how to go with the flow, remember?
Go with the flow. Okay.
First thing that came to my mind was to hit it, so I did it.
And I think as this is happening, the door opens. A door you did not know was there, by the way, but it is there.
Yo, I love the escape room.
You know, if you had followed the gemstones and, like, dragged them back along the grooves, bringing the wind into the trees to knock the leaves off, you would have found a key. The key would have opened up a door, and it would have been, like, a whole metaphor about, like, leaves blowing wherever they need to be taken, you know? It would have been really cool.
That's
But,
crazy.
Damn, that's
I guess you
fucking
learned
crazy.
instead that
Anyway.
punching good, that's what you learned today. The metaphor is punch good, strong.
The metaphor is that you can brute force your way through any puzzle if you're strong enough.
Specifically because of the Go with the Flow team, I am letting this work because it's very in team. I think the door opens and you're able to walk through it.
Cool. Chuji walks through it.
Bhavana winces at Sanku and Masami before following.
Well, that was definitely a way to solve that puzzle.
I'm sorry,
You know
Gary,
what?
for
I'm not
ruining it.
complaining.
Oh, neither am I. I'm a little worried they'll be upset with us for breaking something, though.
I'm a little worried that they were just willing to crush us to death.
Go with the flow.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we ball.
I don't
Fuck it, we
know.
ball. Fuck it, we
Fuck
ball.
it, we ball.
You guys move into the next room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you enter. And it is a dojo of some sort. And sitting on a mat in the middle of the dojo is Abbot Sujon. Both of her eyes are open, but they're staring dully into empty space. And also in this room is Sean, who kind of is like just seems to be like standing to attend her. You guess he's the one who got her up here. And he kind of smiles and waves, but he doesn't say anything as you all approach into this room.
Senku sort of walks over, I think, and he's like,
Hello?
And she just kind of still sits there, staring into nothingness, before she does something that she hasn't done since you first seen her. She blinks,
Oh, well.
and she slowly looks up at you, Sanku. And Sayan kind of hurries up to her side and helps her stand up. And then she does something that is frankly massively surprising. She and Sayan look up at you all in unison and open their mouths and speak with the same voice.
What the fuck?
You have done well to learn our ways and best my disciples. But whatever you require the celestial dragon for surely cannot be undertaken by the faint of heart or weak of body. I would test you myself. Come. And both Sayan and the abbot kind of move as one and step back. And I think I need you all to roll me an occultism check to try figure out what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I could do that.
Sanku and Chuji, I don't think you exceptionally get what's going on, but I think Masami, you notice something.
Mm-hmm.
When Leon breathes out, he breathes out this weird blue fog that's barely noticeable. And it leaves him, and it enters into the abbot's mouth. And then she breathes out from her nose, and it goes into him. And I think you realize very suddenly that this abbot is not a human. She is also a Samsaran.
Oh.
And in fact, not only is she a Samsaran, but you've already gotten to know her. Or rather, one of her past lives.
What?
Oh. Oh my
Sayan
God.
is a past incarnation of Abbot Sujan. That her meditating was her literally bringing her past lives to exist around her in the world. And now she is getting ready to fight you as one, past and present.
Holy shit.
Okay.
As the two monks, ancient incarnation of the Wanderer Sayan, and mighty wise lady Abbot Sujan, the two of them drop into fighting stances, and they move like liquid. Abbot Sujan breathes out a cloud of smoke that enters through the nostrils of Wanderer Sayan, and he claps his hands together. Everything that has already happened will happen again one day, and everything that will happen has already done so. You have already done this fight many times. You will always end this fight the same way, and yet different each time. I think it's time for you all to roll initiative. This episode of Dice Will Roll would not have been possible without the support of our patrons. Baron Stormcrow, Sam Stryker, Sokan Ashra, Tony Saunders, Mita, Ari Graham, Arave, Varia and the Girls, GP Dora, Marshmallowberry, Ferric Falcon, Aries, Alexander Criswell, May Cohen, Kendra West, Genuinely Tricked, Transgirl Trish, Platonic, Bob Punyon, Giant the Catman, Matthew Wilson Krasnovich, Tylan Shark, Glitch HD, Jace Snooks, Zenith Drums, Torbjorn, Saphir Varlera, G Barbera, Luke, Gideon, Sarah B, Seth, Ravona Darkglow, Kira, Lichlope, Gizmo, Matthew, Cass, Fable McElduff, Ava, Chris Lutman, Rem T. Bright, Lonesome Chunk, Steph, Sean C, Natasha Lumley, Rhiannon C, Ellie, Jenna Mitchell, Kane Kendrick, Triceratops, Anna Maria, Jordan, Cynical Spinstress, Emily Laderna, John the Book Hoarder, SS66 Seeker, and Dame Valerie the Turd. If you'd like to see what you can get for helping us keep it rolling, check out patreon.com/dicewillroll today!